Hello. I just wanted to pass on the team's expectations for this race. Good luck.
Hi guys, CombinedYoutuber here. Welcome to the F1 2016 career mode today, and we'll be doing the Canadian Grand Prix race today. We are qualified from 3rd place on the grid for the Canadian Grand Prix after another wet session puts us on the top 3 in the grid. We need to finish the race in 7th or higher, which is a slightly higher position than they've predicted. We need to finish ahead of Jensen Button, and we need to finish ahead of Romain Grosjean. Finishing ahead of Romain Grosjean should be easy enough considering he's done in 21st place for this race, which is quite interesting. So now let's go to the race for the Canadian Grand Prix.
Canada has a true love affair with Formula One. The grandstands here are always packed to capacity. It's a country that has given us the likes of Gilles and Jacques Villeneuve, the thrilling Grand Prix of '79, of '98 and of course 2011. They love their motorsport in Montreal and we absolutely love coming here. If you want flat-out racing, you've come to the right place this weekend, as it's full throttle for 59% of this 2.7-mile circuit, peaking at around 210 miles per hour going into the final chicane. But that speed requires discipline, and there are more than a few close walls here just waiting to punish drivers with a heavy right foot. It's a favourite for fans and drivers alike then here in Canada. We're used to seeing the unexpected happen here, and with me today to enjoy it all is Anthony Davidson, a man who knows firsthand the surprises that can pop up in this race.
I do indeed. I had a good chance at some points here in 2007, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. My old colleague Takuma Sato, though, he managed to finish 6th, so the team took home 3 valuable points, and that was a big boost to everyone at the time. I'm not sure I can think of anywhere else that so consistently provides the kind of late race excitement we get here. Obviously, towards the end of the Grand Prix, the brakes are getting worn, maybe the weather situation has changed, so there's a lot to keep fighting for all the way up to that final corner.
If we keep up this level of performance, I think you'll be promoted to #1 driver. So let's make sure we get a good result today.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, with Daniel Ricciardo slotting in alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have a Haas, Bottas, Nico Rosberg and Vettel, Verstappen, Raikkonen, Button and Fernando Alonso, Perez, Sainz, Daniel Kvyat and Massa, Hülkenberg, Wehrlein, Marcus Ericsson and Kevin Magnussen, Palmer and Nasser, Romain Grosjean and Rio Haryanto completes the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So here we are on the grid for the Canadian Grand Prix, starting from 3rd place on the grid with Lewis Hamilton on pole and Daniel Ricciardo beside us in 2nd place. So with our strategy for today's race in Canada, we are starting on the slowest tyre, the soft tyres, for some very odd reason. I don't know why we're on the soft tyres for the first stint. I don't know why. But we're going on the softs and then we're changing to the ultra softs for the last few laps of the race. So let's hope this is a good Grand Prix. It usually is a good race. A fact in this race, weirdly, that I've actually qualified on pole and always finished in 2nd. I've always finished in 2nd in Canada, regardless of where. Like, in 2013 career mode, I qualified on pole in both Season 1 and Season 2, and I finished 2nd in both Season 1 and 2, so if that happens here, despite not qualifying on pole, that's going to be very interesting. But now on the formation lap, Hamilton has actually gone way out in front of the formation lap, but we are behind Ricciardo, weaving our tyres on this formation lap here. So let's hope on the straight. So here we are on the straight. Sorry for the change. I don't know. Here we are on the straight now. We're following Ricciardo's line with weaving here. And now here we are into the final chicane, lining up on the grid for the 7th round of the season we're starting to get into the halfway point of this season. That's around Britain or Hungary will mark that point. But now here we are, lining up on the grid. Hamilton is already lined up on his grid slot, as Ricciardo lines up and we line up on our grid slot. Here we go. The Canadian Grand Prix, everyone's lining up on the grid. This is the first time I've shown this, by the way. Replay cam of people lining up. So here we are, everyone's lining up on the grid. We have Romain Grosjean all the way there in 21st and Rio Haryanto at the back. So, here we go. Ready for the start of the Canadian Grand Prix. And so now away we go for the Canadian Grand Prix, and it's been a decent start from us there. We're going to go beside Ricciardo, coming down to turn 1. We didn't quite get him there, as Hamilton leads into turn 1 from Ricciardo. We keep in third, we stay third into turn 2, and Hamilton still leads this race. Ricciardo is still in second. But now Rosberg on the ultra soft tyres, by the way, is in 4th place. He's behind, he's going to look and trying to get a move on us. Coming now into the chicane. Here we go, coming into the chicane. Here we go on Ricciardo, right behind Ricciardo. Can we go for a move on him somewhere? We've actually oversteered on the exit there. Rosberg's now going to challenge us, coming down into turn 9, turn 8. He doesn't quite get us there. But now into the hairpin, he's challenging us around the outside. Rosberg goes into the hairpin. Is he going to make it stick? Yes, he is, around the outside. Great move from Rosberg. But now, here we go. We're going to slipstream Rosberg back onto the straight, and we are side by side down towards the final chicane. Here we go. We absolutely we get back at Rosberg, and we get back up into 3rd place. A good move there from us there. Some decent straight line speed in that we have in this car. We actually slipstreamed Rosberg on the straight, and we got back past him after he got past us. So we stay in 3rd after lap 1. We are behind Daniel Ricciardo now. Let's see if we can get him into these next few corners. So here we go, on to lap 2 of the Canadian Grand Prix still. Just the middle of lap 2. We're going to go up the inside of Daniel Ricciardo into the hairpin. Are we going to get him? No, we're not, because he's going to get some great traction here. We're touching wheels. We are side by side onto the straight now. Is Rosberg going to try and challenge onto the straight? Here we go. We are side by side with Ricciardo coming onto the straight. Rosberg now moves to the inside of both of us, and Rosberg gets the move done on Ricciardo. Maybe he does. He gets into the chicane, a very tight line from us there, and we get into 2nd place. A great move from us. We hold on to Ricciardo. We get past Ricciardo, and we hold on to Rosberg. And there's a safety car deployed on lap 3 here of this Canadian Grand Prix. So what's happened here? We are on board with Kimi Räikkönen behind his teammate. So that's Vettel challenging Max Verstappen, and Räikkönen gets a huge slipstream, and he moves to the inside into the chicane, and he gets caught up on the curb and gets spun off by Verstappen on the inside. That was never going to work for Kimi Räikkönen. Look at this, so he's just slipstreaming them both, and then he goes to the inside. That is very, very dangerous. Look at this, up the inside. There was no space whatsoever to go for the move there. There was nothing Verstappen could do, and Räikkönen gets spun round, and there's a safety car deployed for that, even though, once again, just like in Bahrain, there's a spin without a retirement, and there's a safety car out. It's just happened every time there's been a safety car. There's been Bahrain, Russia, and Canada, and it's all been no retirements. So here was a replay of what was an interesting start to this Canadian Grand Prix. Hamilton got a good launch from pole position, and we held off Bottas into turn 1, and Rosberg tried to move to the inside. You can see that Rosberg got Bottas into that corner. So there you go. Hamilton led the race, so he's still leading, I think, at this point, actually. He's still leading on the safety car period. So yeah, we're behind Ricciardo at this point. Sorry. Now, coming into turn 7. This is where we oversteered on the exit. We oversteered on the exit, and Rosberg got us. Yeah, there you go. Rosberg moved to the inside, and he got us onto the straight there, so he didn't quite get us, but he had a chance to there. So now, continuing with the safety car period on lap 3 now of this Canadian Grand Prix. This is a really good race so far. We've had a bit of action, a bit of battling in this race so far. So here is Hamilton actually coming into the pit lane for a very, very early pit stop. Probably to change onto the softs or something. Or this is just a precautionary pit stop under the safety car. He has changed from his ultra soft tyres to the soft tyre. So Hamilton going for a massive undercut here. So this is an interesting strategy for Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton coming in early to change onto the soft tyre after he started on the ultra soft. Both Mercedes, in fact, start on the ultra soft. So Rosberg might do the same thing. So we are in fact leading this Grand Prix now after Hamilton's pit stop. So this is our first ever laps that we've led in this career mode. So very, very good for us there. This is we are now leading this race. Confirmed there on the top left. We are leading this Grand Prix after Lewis Hamilton pitted for a new set of tyres. That's just unbelievable to say there. We literally every time in a career mode race we lead at least one lap in Canada, and this doesn't stop the record from happening. Even in a Haas, which is like 4th fastest at the moment, or 5th fastest, I'm still leading this race. But now we are still behind the safety car here. This is going to be the first time that we're going to control a safety car restart when it gets to the restart. So here we go behind the safety car still. We are weaving. Yeah, Rosberg behind us and Ricciardo in 3rd at the moment. I think it's Ricciardo in 3rd. I'm pretty sure it's Ricciardo. And now here is Rosberg, also coming into the pit lane, believe it or not. Both Mercedes going for the same strategy. They're both changing from the ultra soft to the softs very early on. Is this a good strategy for Mercedes? I don't know. But they're going for a gamble under the safety car. They're going to be right at the back of the field now. As you can see, Hamilton actually got ahead of Rosberg there. You can see him right there. And yeah, this is a huge gamble from Mercedes. It's either going to pay off or it's just going to be absolutely terrible for them. I hope it's absolutely terrible for them, because I want a different winner. We've had a few... The only non-Mercedes win we've had so far is Bottas in Russia. But now here we are for the safety car restart in this Canadian Grand Prix. On lap 5 of this Grand Prix, we are, for the first time ever in a career mode, controlling the safety car restart. We have never led after a safety car period. So here we go, restarting this race. We have done well for our first ever restart, and now we are leading, coming down into the final chicane. We are racing again here in the Canadian Grand Prix, and we are leading into the final chicane from Daniel Ricciardo in 2nd, it's Valtteri Bottas, it's Max Verstappen, and then it's Sebastian Vettel in 5th. As now Ricciardo challenges, coming down into turn 1. Is he going to get the move done? Ricciardo locks up massively. He goes, we held it around the outside, and we keep the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix. On lap 6 now, Ricciardo is very aggressive on this restart. Here we go, we're still leading the Grand Prix. Ricciardo is just all over the back of us now. Is he going to challenge us into the next few corners here? Here we go into turn 7. Ricciardo's still all over the back of us. We are leading this race. 21 cars left in the race. What the hell happened? I don't know where the retirements come from, but we'll get to that in a minute. Now Ricciardo challenges us coming into turn 8. Is he going to get us? No, he isn't. We held it around the outside. Somehow we're keeping the lead here in this Canadian Grand Prix. We lead at least one lap in Canada. It's just not a record that's not going to be broken at the moment here. And now Ricciardo's get some slipstream on us, coming down into the straight. He's overtaken the yellow flag conditions, Codemasters. Now coming into the final chicane, he tries to hold it around the outside. He gets it done. Ricciardo gets a great move on us into the lead of the Grand Prix. And now we're going to challenge him back into lap 7 of this Grand Prix. Coming into the first corner, Ricciardo has taken the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas now behind us in 3rd place. This is the opposite order to what it was in Russia. Bottas is in 3rd, we are in 2nd, and Ricciardo is in 1st. So it's the opposite order of what it was in Russia. Let's hope it stays here, but you never know, the Mercedes could be up there as well. Ricciardo is now pulling away from us, and we've had some huge oversteer there. That's lost us so much time, and we've lost the position to Bottas and to Sebastian Vettel, and nearly to Max Verstappen as well. We have gone way off the track. This is actually really bad driving at the moment, I'm sorry guys. Verstappen gets past Vettel because Vettel made a mistake. If you can see it with the replay here, Ricciardo pulled away from the lead, so he's dashing off. Look at the oversteer we got. We caught that oversteer. but Bottas and Vettel unfortunately got past us, and Verstappen tried to as well. And as you can see, yeah, Vettel actually did go quite deep into that corner, and there's where Verstappen got past him. So Ricciardo leads now from Bottas, then it's me in third. So this is an interesting race so far here in Canada. We've got Ricciardo in the lead, which I hope can be the result by the end of the race. But there's still a pit stop. I haven't made a pit stop yet, remember, so once the pit stops happen, it will be an interesting race. Hamilton and Rosberg have already pitted, and Fernando Alonso is in fact the DNF. I wonder what happened to him there. I don't know. I didn't quite catch what happened. I could tell you actually that Alonso retired on the safety car restart. I think he pulled over to the side on the final chicane with an engine problem. Of course, it's McLaren Honda. And now coming up the inside of Valtteri Bottas into the hairpin. Are we going to get him for second place in this race? No, not quite. Bottas gets some good traction. And now we're going to get some slipstream on him coming down into the straight with DRS open. Here we go, coming on slipstreaming Valtteri Bottas coming into the final chicane. Here we go, side by side, and we get the move done into the final chicane on Valtteri Bottas into second place, equaling our best position in this career mode so far. We take the shorter run to the line as Verstappen challenges Bottas as well, coming into turn 1. Is he going to get him? Is Verstappen going to get Bottas here? They've made contact there. Verstappen goes around the outside, but Bottas still hanging on in there. Is he going to get the move? Let's check the replay. They made contact. I thought Bottas slid a bit. Yeah, they did make contact. Let's see it in slow motion there. So Bottas goes on the inside. He turns out of the corner, mind you, and he hits the rear tyre of Max Verstappen, only slightly. There might have been a little slide there, but Verstappen actually got the move done after that. A decent move from the AI there. And now on lap 11 we are coming into the pits for our first and only pit stop in this race. And we're going to change to the Ultra Softs for this last stint, so it's time to push for these last few laps. Now coming into our pit box now to change to the set of Ultra Soft tyres. Yes, we can see the purple compound there, so it is a set of Ultra Soft tyres. So, coming out of the pits now in last place, obviously, because there's a lot of cars going on here, including Nico Rosberg. You can see Nico Rosberg in the pack with the back markers. So that's 18th place for Rosberg. We could get past Rosberg here. This is going to be interesting. So we've got Hulkenberg ahead. We actually aren't in last place, which is interesting. Raikkonen is, in fact, last place. Now, here we go. On lap 12 now, trying to challenge Nico Hulkenberg coming into the hairpin. Up the inside of Hulkenberg and Nico Rosberg as well. Both Nicos. And we get past them both into 18th place. We get past a Mercedes. And we get up into 18th place. That is really, really good, to be honest. But Rosberg is coming back at us. Coming down into the final chicane. Is Rosberg going to get us into this corner? Oh, not quite. He's hit the curb there. We're still side by side. But we get the move done there still. And we hold on to 18th place. But now people are in the pit lane now. Rosberg's challenging us again into turn 1. This is actually unstoppable. But now Vettel comes out of the pits ahead of us as well. This is about as much action as Bahrain at the moment, by any chance. And now Sebastian Vettel has come out ahead of us. Can we get to Sebastian Vettel into the next 2 corners? Are we going to get him up the inside now into the hairpin? Yeah, he's been blocked by Magnussen a bit there. And Vettel is... We're going to try and go up the inside. Onto the straight once again. He almost cuts us off onto the grass there. But somehow we didn't. And now Vettel has DRS open. We have DRS open. We have the better straight line speed. And the slipstream moving to the inside. And we get past Sebastian Vettel into 13th. So much overtaking happening in this race. And it's the climax of the Grand Prix. So that's what Canada is known for. It's known for a good climax to the race. We are now in 8th now. Out of the pit lane. Valtteri Bottas tries to get out ahead of Magnussen. And he comes out behind the 2 Manners. And now they're side by side of Bottas and Magnussen coming down into the chicane. Is Bottas going to get Magnussen? He backs out the move. Kevin Magnussen backs out on the move. And we get up into 8th. Valtteri Bottas moves up into 7th as now we go up the inside into turn 7. a great move from a long way back. We get into 7th place. Wow. Wow, I could not... I'm out of breath now. I need a break, seriously. Wow, that was a lot of action in that period. Canada's known for the climax it usually has, and this is again, a climax to this race. And now out of the final chicane, we get past Pascal Wehrlein and Jolyon Palmer to get up into 5th place. A good catch up in this race after our pit stop. So that is 5th place now, passing Jolyon Palmer and Pascal Wehrlein. So Manor at the moment are in 4th and 7th. That is really decent. We're at lap 15 now, and we are behind Rio Haryanto, who's currently in 4th place. That just feels awkward. That just feels really, really crazy saying that. Saying Rio Haryanto's in 4th place is just not a thing that everyone says every second. As now we've got some great traction there on Rio Haryanto. We're going to go up the inside into turn 1. Haryanto locks up. We are side by side into turn 1, into turn 2. We go around the outside and we get into 4th place. A good move on Rio Haryanto there. And we get up into 4th place. A good catch up, to be honest. We were last after the pit stop there, and we get a good catch up there. The lap 16 now. Verstappen's in 3rd. So Ricciardo, here is Ricciardo on lap 16. He is chasing down Lewis Hamilton rapidly, at rapid pace. We saw, I don't think you saw earlier, that he actually set a fastest lap of the race of a 1:15. So Ricciardo is trying to catch Lewis Hamilton. Can he do so in this race? Now onto the straight. Haryanto has DRS on us. He is absolutely shot past us. Haryanto gets past us in that manner, and we go into the final chicane, and Jolyon Palmer has just been spun round. Unbelievable, wow. It's to be expected that Palmer has some bad luck there in that Renault, but Rio Haryanto, with that Mercedes-powered manner, gets back up into 4th place. Good move. But now here is Ricciardo on the penultimate lap, right up the back of Lewis Hamilton. Can Ricciardo make the move on Lewis Hamilton for the lead of this race? If he can, that will be absolutely awesome. To see that an AI can catch another AI. But to be fair, Ricciardo's on ultra softs and Hamilton's on softs, so it's not really a fair comparison. But still, Ricciardo is catching Lewis Hamilton. As we go up the inside of Rio Haryanto, we have overshot the hairpin and we haven't quite gotten there. If we don't pass a manner, that'll be really embarrassing. But now here we are on the penultimate lap once again. Ricciardo is literally in DRS range on Lewis Hamilton. Is he going to get Lewis Hamilton onto the straight? He is slipstreaming him. It looks like he is going to get him. With DRS, Ricciardo getting closer and closer. He moves to the inside. Ricciardo now on the inside into the final chicane. He gets the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix on the penultimate lap of this race. A change of lead between the AI, and Ricciardo suddenly comes out of nowhere to get past Hamilton, and he gets up into the lead. We do have a different winner coming up. That's not Valtteri Bottas. And that's on to the final lap now of this Canadian Grand Prix. Here we go up the inside of Rio Haryanto into turn 1. We get the move done into 4th place. A good move. Finally, we've got past the Indonesian and we get up into 4th. That is where we're going to finish in this race for sure. And Haryanto's actually gone for a spin there at the exit of that chicane. But here is Daniel Ricciardo in the Red Bull coming into the final chicane. The Australian comes around into the final straight and he gets his first win in his career mode. He wins the Canadian Grand Prix. Ricciardo takes a brilliant victory. He drove well all day. He caught right up to the back of Lewis Hamilton and passed him on the penultimate lap. Hamilton takes 2nd and Max Verstappen finishes in 3rd. And now here we are coming round into the final corner. We finish in a brilliant 4th place in the Canadian Grand Prix after being last after the pit stop. We have caught up all the way to 4th with a lot of overtakes. A great race today here in Canada. Christian Horner celebrates another Red Bull win and Daniel Ricciardo has taken that for him in this Canadian Grand Prix. Wow, that was unexpected. Ricciardo took the lead away from Lewis Hamilton on the penultimate lap of the race. And Ricciardo is catching Hamilton quite rapidly with the fastest lap of the race, I think, as well. So here is Ricciardo on the top step of the podium, just like he did in the Rio 2014 race. We had Hamilton in second and Verstappen in third. Replace Hamilton with Rosberg and you'll get what the 2014 podium exactly was. But Verstappen would be Vettel as well. But now Ricciardo sprays the champagne surprise. This game is not realistic. He has not done a shoey on the podium. Yeah, he's not doing a shoey on the podium at the moment. It's not realistic. F1 2016 is not realistic. Nah, realistically, it's not. So, anyway, Daniel Ricciardo has taken his first win in a career mode season. Lewis Hamilton in second place. We got a collision with the safety car there, apparently. We've got a warning for a collision with the safety car. Indeed, Fernando Alonso did retire with a mechanical failure on lap 5 when the safety car restart happened. So I told you that Fernando Alonso there. Max Verstappen in third, ahead of me in fourth for Haas, 22 seconds behind. Valtteri Bottas in fifth, and then Sebastian Vettel in sixth. Then Rio Haryanto finishes in seventh to get Mana's first points of the season. Sergio Perez in eighth, Nico Rosberg in ninth, Carlos Sainz, Pascal Wehrlein in 11th, Kimi Räikkönen in 12th, Magnussen, then Ericsson, Kvyat, Massa, Hulkenberg, Button, Grosjean in 19th, Nasser, Palmer, and then Fernando Alonso was the DNF of the Canadian Grand Prix in the McLaren Honda on the safety car restart.
It's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Lewis Hamilton takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after an excellent result. Moving on to the driver of the day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
I'm giving driver of the day to Rio Haryanto. He's pushed and he's found some fantastic performance. He was an absolute pleasure to watch today.
On to the constructors then. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. It was also a standout performance from Mana Racing today. Great stuff from them to move up the standings. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
So Mana get all the praise in this weekend, as Rio Haryanto gets a very much deserved driver of the day, and Mana get a praise for the constructors. So Lewis Hamilton leads now the championship by 12 points from Rosberg, then Ricciardo in third. So Hamilton actually taking the lead in the championship now. Ricciardo in third ahead of Max Verstappen, then Kimi Räikkönen ahead of Sebastian Vettel, then me in seventh, Valtteri Bottas, then Jenson Button, Romain Grosjean in 10th, Carlos Sainz, Rio Haryanto with the 6 points in 12th place. Pretty decent for Rio Haryanto there. That's Mana's first points of the season. Daniel Kvyat, then Fernando Alonso, Sergio Perez, Nico Hulkenberg, Felipe Massa, Kevin Magnussen, Pascal Wehrlein, Marcus Ericsson, Julian Palmer, and Felipe Nasser at the back of the championship. Constructors now, Mercedes lead by 59 points from Red Bull in second, Ferrari in third, Haas in fourth place, 150 points behind, Williams in fifth, the McLaren Honda, Toro Rosso, Force India, Manor in ninth actually, Renault, and then Sauber are the only team to not score points at the moment in this career mode. That was a really good race. That was a really eventful race in this Canadian Grand Prix. This video, by the way, has gone on for 30 minutes, so my all-time longest video on my channel, and my longest career mode video ever. Here are our resource points after the Canadian Grand Prix. We got 103 resource points for a 100% clean lap. We did everything perfect this weekend. 103 resource points. And with our rivalry with Jenson Button, we are now way ahead of him as well. We are Jenson Button's still half my points, just like after Monaco. Actually, no, after Canada quality, but yeah, in our driver position, we are massively overachieving once again. And yeah, it's got the team pleased. In our career score now, we've driven 33 laps in distance. So, no flashbacks triggered because it's just impossible. So 5,012 points gives us a total of 37,589. So, a decent Canadian Grand Prix contract event.
Hey, you'll like this. I just got out of a meeting with the boss and, well, congratulations. You've done a great job. Here.
So that's really, really good news here, that we have been promoted to first driver. So, dear Combined, your performance on and off the track has been exceptional. Senior management have decided to promote you to first driver. We expect exemplary performance from you, and in return you'll receive additional R&D resource points each race. So, from Azerbaijan onwards, we will get some more resource points, some extra resource points, hopefully. So, hopefully you enjoyed what was an awesome Canadian Grand Prix. We finished in 4th place. And the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, the new Baku circuit, is the next race in this career mode. So, hope you enjoyed. See you guys on my next video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And goodbye.